Hi everyone, welcome back to TS Talks. Hope you're doing good, keeping safe, all of that good stuff. Now in this one, I'm just talking about the Metropolitan Police, and the topic in regard to the Metropolitan Police is going to be racial profiling. Now this is off the back of their recent stop of athlete Bianca Williams, who was travelling with fellow athlete partner and their 3-month-old son. Now the video which is going around on social media shows how the officers acted in a way that I would say quite obsessive and aggressive when they approached the vehicle. Now, will I agree that there's an issue with, gang crime in London and violence in terms of knives and guns and acid? Yes, there is. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. That's definitely something which, not just happens in London, but it happens in a lot of the country. And, it's not good at all. And obviously there is big discussions on, how we can kind of clamp down on things like this occurring going forward. But at the same time, like the way they approached them, I have to say was really obsessive. And, the reality of it is that both of them, they were both recording the incident from the car when they were still in the car. So to me, that says to me that, a police officer's perspective on it would be that, okay, well, they're not trying to hide anything and they're not trying to reach for any weapon. They're clearly recording, saying what's going on, what is it I'm being stopped for. Now I've seen that the Met's reason for the stop was due to the car looking suspicious. Now someone needs to explain what looking suspicious is, because if it's to do with the tints at the back, which I've seen that something that was stated was that the car was black, the car has blacked out windows, then, that needs to be taken up with the DVLA and the car legislation people in this country, because as far as I'm aware, in the back windows, there isn't like a set limit. I know through the front it has to let through a certain amount of light. But if your issue is about cars with tinted windows, then you need to take that up and make that something that, no car can have tinted windows. That's just the reality of it. Other than that, the only thing which could have been seen due to the blacked out windows, which they've stated, was that the male was driving the car, because obviously Bianca was sitting in the back with the 3-month-old. So because of the blacked out windows, you wouldn't have seen that. So other than that, you would have just seen one male in the front of the vehicle, which I would have seen, because from what I'm aware, they actually did a U-turn on the vehicle. Now, following on from that, the other reason as to why they stopped them was that the car drove away and was on the wrong side of the road. Now, for me, for the amount of scrutiny and heat that, they've been put under because of this, this is an incident that happened on Saturday. It's now Wednesday at the time of me recording this. I ain't seen none of this footage be put out in the news. I know things are going through an investigation and stuff, but, you'd put this footage out to say, well, look, this vehicle was doing this, And at the end of the day, if I'm turned out to be proven wrong, I'll speak on it and say, okay, clearly you can see that, this is the case. But from what both of them state is that, the car never drove on the wrong side of the road. I believe on one road it was on this and narrow road. So you can't drive on the wrong side of the road. And I actually know where that is. So, I can fully agree with that. But I think from their accounts is that it's the fact that it's not a one-off thing. I believe that it's been, numerous occasions, where officers have stopped him and have either said to him, oh, you look like someone we're looking for. Oh, how can you afford this car? You're not meant to just look at someone and say, well, you can't afford this car. You don't know who can afford what and whatnot. Just because you might see someone in a car that's worth 50, 60 grand doesn't mean instantly they're a criminal. It's similar to the videos I've been seeing of this black bank manager who, was under more or less investigation for I think it was about 26 months. At one stage, police had arrested him on suspicions of firearms and released him within 35 minutes. Stuff like that, which is a bit ridiculous. Now, in regards to the driving stops and stuff, as a driver myself, I've been stopped 3 times by the police in my times of driving. Now, the first one was due to apparently driving slow and being a bit suspicious, because I was doing about 17 miles per hour in the 20 zone. Plus, apparently, the area I was in apparently had a recent rise in car thefts, which, to be honest with you, I thought was a bit shady. And even the approach they had at me was a bit, aggressive, but, dealt with it, cool. The second time I got stopped by the police, that was due to my insurance actually, it renewed like that night, but it was like in between Christmas and New Year's, so most people ain't working in offices. And you know what, I give them credit that time. They approached me on that occasion, was, okay, it wasn't on some aggressive bullish thing. It was, sorry, can you pull over to the side on my thing showing this, are you able to prove this? And once I did, their whole attitude towards things was, okay. And the last time I was stopped was a few months ago, whilst coming back from work during lockdown, and I spoke about it in a prior video. And I'm not gonna tarnish every police officer who works for the Metropolitan Police, as I generally believe there is maybe a few officers. It's probably a minority, I'm sad to say, but there probably is a few officers over there that have the genuine interest of the public and are not bad breed. But unfortunately, this is the reality where this sort of behavior that you saw in those videos, which is what's happening every day somewhere in London. And I'm just talking about the Met Police, so there's probably loads more things happening outside of London. And if anyone wants to enlighten me on that, I'm someone that will speak on it, I'll give my opinion on it. But at the end of the day, a lot of these incidents that's happening every day, they're not recorded. Even myself, like, I've got nothing to worry about. I'm all good. I don't worry about police stopping me. I know I've done nothing wrong. But what I worry about is when police stop me, is their approach. Are you going to be aggressive? Are you going to be angry and, want to try and provoke me and stuff like that? Because at the end of the day, this isn't something new. This is something that's been going on for years. Like, police stopping people, trying to provoke them into, provoke you into, somewhat losing it. And then it gives them a reason to do something. But, my concern is that what's happening in these cases every day where people ain't recording it. And in most of them situations where people ain't recording it, they can't even make a complaint about it. That's just the hard reality of it. Now, I've seen this case has been referred to the independent office for police conduct, but seeing as the DPS have stated that they haven't identified any misconduct, I sadly doubt anything's actually going to happen in regards to this. Now, before anyone tries to come for me on some race thing and I'm just going to put it out there straight. Like, I don't care. Like, when I spoke about my reaction to the whole White Lives Matter Burnley thing, where the racists flew the plane over the Etihad with that message, I didn't even notice some people, some punks, shall I say, comments in the comment section. I didn't even notice it. Like, literally, when I went on YouTube, it even showed me the comments. Only when I was going through my emails, I see some comment about, yeah, but, these lives, this and this like that. Look, man, I don't even care. That's the reality of it. And I've already seen so much people on Twitter try to justify it, saying, if you just do what the police say, then, it will be okay. Like, what? What are you talking about? You're going to come out aggressive and, you want to try to handcuff someone whilst they're sitting in the back of their car with their 3-month-old child, saying, you're being detained for a search, coming up with BS saying, like, we can smell cannabis, you don't find nothing. That's the one that does my head in, to be honest with you. When a police officer says some crap like, I can smell cannabis. Now, my thing on this is, now, they all, as I'm told, they all wear body cameras and all this crap now. If any police officer on any body camera, on any stop says, I can smell cannabis, searches the vehicle, does not find any cannabis, and because now you can do the drug swab test on the driver, and if there's anyone else in the car, and you do that, and no one is seen to have, been under the influence or anything, then I don't care. That officer there needs to be taken into question, because then it's like, well, you're just making up stuff. That's the reality of it, and it's sad because I think many people in this country, seem to think there isn't a race problem in this country. And personally, given my opinion, that alone is why the country isn't the place it is. And, you get police officers, who are drafted into London to work. They've never grown up in the environment, and it's completely different to where they grew up, and you know, I feel like they're trained to be like, okay, every stop you got to be aggressive, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like they know no one's going to pull them up on it, because there were so much officers in that situation where they were stopped, because obviously they come out of the TSG vehicle. They're telling me not one officer can say, okay, well, there's enough of us, it's a car, it's a guy, a woman and a child, all right, we don't need to be so aggressive, cool. But this is the thing, is this is what they do. So, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to tarnish all of them, but, you know, from experiences I've had with police from a kid growing up where I grew up, I generally don't like the police. And the sad thing is, there's people that I know that, you know, they just go about their day-to-day life normally. And if something happens to them, they ain't calling the police, because they know what police treatment can be like, even when you're just going about your day-to-day business and you're doing nothing wrong. That's the reality of it. And, you know, for years people have said it needs to be a way that, you know, the police actually become somewhat part of the community. You know, things are never going to be, in my opinion, you know, rosy and great. And, you know, yes, there is people out there that's, you know, into trouble and causing some sort of fuckery and all this other stuff. You know, I don't agree with it, I don't condone with it, but, you know, at the end of the day, yes, that is what, you know, things like the police are there for, to deal with, you know, all this sort of stuff. But at the same time, there has to be some sort of justice for the way that you stop people. And, you know, there's another situation to speak on the police regarding, in terms of racial profiling, and actually it's even worse than that, it's actually paralyzing someone. But yeah, I'm going to speak on that in a different subject, but I just wanted to speak on this one, as, you know, I was meant to speak on it the day that it happened, but then I thought, let me see what comes of it. But as of the time of me recording it, nothing could come of it. So yeah, you know, I thought I'd just give my, you know, thoughts on it. And, you know, I'd be grateful to get your thoughts in it in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, go hit that subscribe button now, and I'll catch you next time.